Sorry to interrupt, Nick. I was like kind of falling asleep, and I was like, maybe because I had a long weekend.
Stuff.
No. It's not your fault. I'm high.
I know. Oh, right.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
I
was like, wow. Having trouble concentrating.
So I'm walking into Whole Foods. There are these Amnesty International youngsters out there. And the guy goes, Amnesty International.
What is that group?
It's International Amnesty.
You're trying to help people get to another country thing?
I think it's a broad umbrella of humanitarian.
Okay.
It is a good
Hurrahs.
branded name.
Yeah.
I think you have the literal definition of it, but
International Amnesty.
you're a part of it, or sorry, I missed the beginning.
No, he walked into Whole Foods and he's got some people probably shaking him down for some money.
Shaking me down. So it doesn't happen to me, but it happens to a young woman walking in. The guy goes, "Hey, do you have any time to pause for human rights?"
Oh boy. What if you say no?
I mean, what an unfair thing to say to somebody. I understand that you're working for a good organization, but you can't put moral handcuffs on somebody like that walking in to get fucking turkey.
I'm going to start a new group, and I'm just going to stand outside the grocery store and go, do you not want children to die?
Right, kids are dying, I was thinking.
Do you not want children to die, sir?
It is such an unfair thing to say to somebody who's
I don't have
just
time.
going to walk in, buy some kombucha and some almond flour Cheez-Its because Gwyneth Paltrow said they were less bad for you than actual Cheez-Its.
Can I put you on to something? I have a ton of thoughts about the people with the clipboards.
Yeah.
Can I put you on to something because you mentioned kombucha?
Yeah.
Do you know what tapache is?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, never mind. So back to the people with the clipboards.
Yeah, so I walk in and...
Oh, I had some thoughts on them?
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Forgot it. I'll think of it.
Wow.
I know.
Nick, write it down on like a little piece of paper.
But then you guys think I'm texting.
I wouldn't think that.
He would, because sometimes I am, and he sees it.
I'm only saying this because I want to hear what you were thinking about.
That's what I'm saying.
I feel like I only get 10% of what's going on.
Do I know what tapache is?
You wish
Of
you got 10%.
course I know what fucking tapache is.
Well, James Bashera, proprietor of Magic Mind, I'm going to give you a quick shout out,
Promo
magicmind.co.
code Glenn, promo code Bachelor, get 25% off.
Investor in tapache.
I walk in, the guy goes, hey, do you have a moment to chat? And I said, sorry guys, not today. And the guy said, no worries. We'll see you on the way out.
No, you won't, because there's two exits in this fucking place.
Oh, no. My car was right in front of the exit, and also, I was not going to take that other exit. I was going to see what this guy was about to tell me when I came out the other way, because what you said is nonsensical. I've said, I don't have time for this today. As long as it's today, I don't have time in or out to talk to you, man. So you're throwing odd conundrums, odd pickles at people, and you're also telling people, do you have any time to stop because kids are dying?
Do you want dogs to die, starve to death,
It's
sir?
not cool, man. And I can always bat these people away by saying, I'm from Virginia. But sometimes it doesn't work because you have to do an ocular pat down. You have to see
They could possibly be from Virginia. There's not a 0% chance that person is from Virginia.
There's not a 0% chance, but I wasn't talking about that. You have to do an ocular pat down to see if these people are trying to get something put on a ballot or if they are from we raise cows in Ethiopia to help women's rights via farming.
Or they're kids that just walked in, bought dollar candy bars, selling to me for $3
Right.
under the guise that they need new jerseys, which I don't respect. Just be honest with me.
I got to steal this from Dylan. I've lamented about or complained about this before. Girl Scout cookies and the Girl Scout business. That is a corrupt organization.
Sure.
Where's the brick and mortar? What do they need all this money for, and where is it going?
There's going to be a documentary that comes out about it.
I was just going to say, and this is only kind of the same. There is a documentary about the corruption of the Boy Scouts, but
Yeah.
it's not about how much they shove the cookies down your throat.
No,
it's their cocks.
Right.
There's a whole documentary about it, a show.
No, I don't doubt it.
I think you
Girl
gotta watch
Scouts
that.
I'm familiar with the
I took a way
This
easy
is
joke
another
that I wish.
podcast show. It's a show where we gab and goof about really whatever is the top of mind. My name is Dylan. I'm settled up next to one real Nicholas David.
What's going
Pat,
ahoy, mateys?
Pat is over there behind my glasses.
I want people to do an inventory. Ask yourself this.
Yeah.
Once a year, for 2 weeks, they let all these little girls stand outside and
Crumb crunchers, quite literally.
sell you cookies, high overpriced cookies, and then you bring them to your job. You're selling. Where's all this fucking money going? I want some questions start to be asked about this organization.
Dude, I'm a little, like I said, below deck, and this one too. Maybe we should take it easy on the marijuana. But I really, in my head, I just got a flash of a really, really sad image, and that is the stack of Girl Scout cookies that got brought into North American Insurance, and it's fluorescently lit, and it's in the break room. I mean, my God, nothing says corporate cubicle America.
Dylan,
that is scary.
At
dude.
North American Insurance, I honestly, and this is back in the day, where you didn't have to pay on the spot, but they'd come shake you down later, and you're having a good day on a Friday, so you're sure, I'll buy 6 boxes. Little do you know, that's going to tally its way up to like $35, and then they start shaking out. Pat, here you signed here that you bought 6 boxes. Oh, I did.
Wait. What are you saying?
Oh, you were joking about North American Insurance, where people, mothers and dads, will bring boxes.
Sure,
and
but
boxes
did you sign a contract?
Well, back
or did
in
you
the
not
day,
sign a
you know,
contract?
I'm old, so back in the day, they wouldn't just hit you with like an Apple Pay. You'd sign because I don't got $35 in my pocket,
Right.
And then they'd have to remind you, hey Pat, do you mind bringing that check on Friday?
Right.
For Girl Scout cookies.
For Girl Scout cookies?
Yeah, for Girl Scout cookies.
Now, was this one of those things where you were drinking at work and you forgot?
Yeah, I was drunk when I showed up the next day.
Right. Okay. So, guys, do an ocular pat down. See if they're from. Although, you know what? Don't. Even if they are from Amnesty International and they go, because this could be a good deterrent too. They go, hey, do you have a second to chat? Just go, I'm from Virginia. And they'll think that you're a crazy person. And the people that are trying to get the stuff on the ballot will recognize it as, oh, this person legally cannot do this. Right? So you'll divert the advances of these bothersome people.
No, Dill.
Either way you go.
You can see them from a mile away as you park your car. You
Right.
can see 2 people out there being very almost like salespeople
Yeah.
at like a clothing store.
Right.
What you do is you take one shoe off and then start scratching yourself like a lot. They'll leave you alone.
See, I have a.
Start scratching yourself like a
Take
lot.
a shoe off.
I thought of my thing that I thought of in the beginning.
Okay.
This is how isn't that crazy?
Crazy.
And it's a great segue because he gave what he would do or he does in
Well,
that situation.
don't talk about the segue too long because we might lose it again.
A great point. I think honesty is the best policy.
Right.
I just give them my real life philosophy, which is probably a mental gymnastics way of being selfish. I haven't read Atlas Shrugged, but I think like Ayn Rand.
Yeah, it's too long and it's too much insanity.
Yeah. I think that's a crazy version of but the most important thing you can do in the world is take care of yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
And then once you are taken care of, take care of the next person closest to you.
Okay, so
and continue to do that until you and if you're successful enough, then you're taking care of a city and stuff. And
Right.
if people do that from like different cities, eventually those circles will get bigger and they'll coalesce. And
Okay,
it's altruistic people.
brother Teresa, can we do a little role play
That's
here?
what I tell them to do. No.
Oh, that you go on that diatribe?
Let's do the role play.
Okay, thank you.
So you
Hi, do you have a second to stop? Because
say what you said exactly verbatim the first time, what they ask you. Do you have a second for?
I was just about to.
Okay, it sounded like you were going to put it in different words. And then it might...
Hey, how you doing?
I'm already gone. They never give a stopgap like that.
And that's World Class Improv with another podcast network. So, guys, we have a lot of
what you said
What?
was, hey, do you have a second to talk about human rights?
Right.
And I would say, I believe the best thing I can do for human rights is continue on my schedule and get my to-do list done so I can take care of me and my family.
Yeah. Because,
and then I could keep walking.
Right. Because do you know the strength, the
And
power,
improv.
the power of the butterfly effect? But we've got a lot of stuff that we've got to get into tonight.
I had 2 notes on that, though, what we're talking about. I think the audience will find fascinating.
Okay.
You may not remember this, Dylan, but
Yeah.
one of my beloved places that I like to bring new friends, and you were a new friend at this time, is the Hollywood Bowl.
Right.
And you showed up, and there was a familiar character as you and your lovely wife Cecilia arrived that first time. You may have forgotten this, Dylan, but was an old man that wore a shirt of some organization for the deaf, 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 and he'd say, "Would you like to help the deaf, whatever, blah blah blah," and then he'd hand you a sticker.
Are
And
you
he'd
talking about because there's the guy that
I remember this story.
the guy saying
Under the
about
bridge?
the Corinthians.
not under the bridge.
Oh.
Knowledge is
That
power.
guy's playing music, and then he just wants you to put some money in the hopper for him and his
Yeah,
dog.
he's from Tim and Eric Awesome Show.
Yes, he was on there. No, different guy. Old white guy with an English accent. And he walks around. He'd been doing it for 5 years. They'd kicked him out multiple times, I witnessed. You happened to walk upon me, and we're greeting each other. And you don't remember this, Dylan? And I was
No.
like, my wife and I, it's like our couple's night out. And I think we saw like Indiana Jones or something at the Hollywood Bowl. And
vaguely
we're
remember this.
catching up and like, oh, what wine did you bring? Blah, blah, blah. This old fuck comes up and goes, "Oh, would you like to support the community for the deaf?" And he pulls out his sticker, and I said, "Get lost, loser." Beat it.
Okay.
And he like stared at me. I was like, "I know who you are." And I felt uncomfortable because we didn't know each other that well at that
Right.
point,
Yeah.
to where I could be yelling at what you perceive as a perfectly polite stranger.
Right.
But I called him a loser, and I told him to beat it.
Can I say, because I'm experiencing right now the same thing Dylan probably experienced then, because I don't have context of why you would shoo this man away.
Sure.
We seem like he's old. It's really hard to yell.
Well, I
Yeah,
had
he's
pointed
just
that out.
trying to help
I'd
the
seen him
deaf.
kicked out of the Hollywood Bowl entrance multiple times
gotcha.
for multiple years.
Right.
And so I knew what his game was. He was a scam artist, and what a pathetic thing that he was involved in, trying to raise money for the deaf. Am I saying that right?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, but as long as you're talking about people who can't hear, you're
Yeah, that's
you're
it. Yeah,
nailing
yeah,
it.
yeah.
But what a funny scam kind of. He's like, oh, what the deaf.
I'll just go to the Hollywood Bowl. The shows happen 4 nights a week in the summer, and guy probably makes a grand a night. Total scumbag. Anyway, I always enjoyed telling him to go F himself.
Hell yeah.
Beat it, loser. Put it on Pat's grave in quotations, and not maybe don't put it on
I
Pat's
love
grave.
that.
So we have a lot of stuff to get into tonight, and they all everything kind of has to do with movies, which is I love talking movies. We don't do it enough, you know. Usually we complain about heroin addicts trying to rob Pat. But tonight we're going to talk about movies. And what I wanted to bring in was an article from the New Yorker, which really, really got me firing. We talk about The Rock a lot on our platforms, mainly on PMZ, bump. Get it at patreon.com/anotherpodcast network. But you loathe The Rock.
Oh, I hate his guts.
And why do you hate his guts?
Well, because he's fake.
Right.
And everything he does is because he's goal oriented.
Right.
But I see right through it. And all his fake social media posts where he's putting out there how nice a guy he is. You shouldn't have to brag about how all the nice acts you're doing for humanity.
Right.
Just do it. Why do you got to let us know you're doing it, you
And
loser?
also, really bad films.
Oh, he's a horror.
Really bad movies.
I actually really resent how much work he gets too, so I'm a little jealous. So I'll admit that.
I think the stronger argument is the piss poor quality of his films, because I think if you sat down and had some Terramana tequila with The Rock,
Right.
he would admit to you that there's a little something in it for him when he gives his mom the 14th house.
Sure. And then you'd be like, oh, you are a disgusting human being.
Why?
Well,
When she saw
All
that
the
house, she
jobs.
cried.
The
and
man
the
had
tears went down her face.
He had $7 in his pocket.
he had $7 in his pocket.
He didn't know what he was gonna do.
So I find this article because Top Gun Maverick 2022/2020.
Oh, I bet that bothered The Rock.
Has made more money than everyone expected it would make. I think it's at like $400 million. So
What a snapback to woke liberal culture.
is it looks? I wonder if there's probably those narratives out there.
Oh yeah,
Oh my god.
Daily Wire.
Oh, shut up.
I'm
Not you. Not you.
I am highlighting this thing that I definitely peruse all the time when I give my alt-right views. I
Right.
want you to know that I don't know what I believe. I am increasingly afraid of technology.
What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, I may peruse the same news sites that Nick does. and
Yeah.
They took great joy in the Buzz Lightyear movie, quote unquote, tanking. It only made $50 million this weekend.
It was weird that they didn't have a marketing push towards the film's release. I mean, we saw the David Bowie trailer a couple months ago, and then it really quieted down. I think Pixar could have pumped a little bit more money into that film, and it would have made a little bit more money. But they really did go radio silent. So I
do have a thing that I want to say. There
know, was a
you
pregnant pause.
and
then you looked at me and you didn't say anything. And then I went forward and then you took a big breath.
I was thinking.
No, I know. It was the Pixar. I was trying to listen to the Pixar. I don't know what you just said about Pixar.
Right.
I was thinking about the point that I was trying to keep from earlier.
Right.
So I was trying to then think about the point you said about Pixar.
Yeah.
Which I will listen back and be fascinated by.
You cannot be dancing on a razor's edge like that.
So I was going to say, I almost brought in Top Gun as an APS topic because I read this incredible Twitter thread about how it is doing for America what the first Top Gun did, because it was the first reflection of the military in TV or cinema that was positive on the heels of Vietnam. In fact, the movie is not mentioned except once when someone speaks positively about his father serving.
So you're saying
in,
it was
propaganda then,
right.
and it's propaganda now.
Sure.
But I have heard this is an incredible film that is not like 80s shtick.
Well, it's so funny that you mentioned that, because it's interesting. I wouldn't say that it's a problematic movie, but it has a certain
You saw it?
No, I haven't seen it. But it's spun this little zeitgeisty kind of tornado, and in it come out think pieces like this one from The New Yorker, Tom Cruise's existential need for speed. In Top Gun Maverick, the superstar holds the line for relatable humanity in a type of movie that has less and less use for flesh and blood people. Now, I saw this and I was like, I have got to read this because I know it is going to just be
A hit piece?
well, no, 1,000 words of fucking nonsense about, the identity of Tom Cruise. And I thought it was just going to be a heady thing about Top Gun Maverick, which sounds kind of funny. But it was not that. It was a tome dedicated to the complicated figure that is Tom Cruise.
Oh.
Sure, he's probably thrown some people in jail cells at that place down on, I don't know, that fucking purple building.
He lives on Cala Vista.
But this man, the world need be reminded of the greats when they do have periods of, downtime. I read this article and I was hit like an anvil. Tom Cruise is everything that The Rock wishes he could be. Tom Cruise is dedicated. You said that The Rock is goal-oriented?
Mm-hmm. Tom is too.
Tom is... He's driven by more than that, actually. He's so in love with the movie-making process. He's been doing it since he was a teenager.
He calls them pictures still, like the old-timey thing.
He calls them pictures. And this article was just about his insane commitment to the specific kind of craft that he is honed in on, which are these action movies that I don't think are that great either. I get action fatigue. I go see Ghost Recon and all that shit. Yeah, I see them slamming each other into mirrors and stuff. I fall asleep 15 minutes later because of too many explosions. But
he cares.
he cares. They go into him freaking out on the set of Mission Impossible.
We played a clip on one of our previous
We
shows.
played a clip, and within that clip is a man who knows what this movie is going to do for people. He saw the people that were standing too close together, and he flipped out.
Yeah,
because it was
you two, and you two. I've been up till 3 a.m. with producers, and then you two not wearing a mask.
Yeah.
There's 300 people here in this room. You're making a movie, Tom.
Patrick,
Obviously, you're not scared of dying.
Patrick. Now, this was not The Rock. This was a full-blown leak. This was a leak of Tom's passion exploding out to his crew because they were going to be the crew that got movies back on their feet. There were people out of jobs all over the industry, and the weight of the motion picture industry
was on his shoulders.
Was on Tom Cruise's shoulder.
Yeah, that wasn't that set that he did that rant on.
Yeah,
that wasn't Maverick, by the way.
No, it was
the
Mission Impossible
that will come out in 2 years. Yeah,
I have so many thoughts.
Yeah,
I just want to say I'm so excited to weave what I'm going to talk about into what you have been talking about.
Yes.
But first, I would like to say that I disagree with everything you just said. not actually any of the facts.
0 points.
No. Not any of the facts, but the premise that why what is happening is because of Tom Cruise's passion for movies.
Yeah.
You said he's so much more than The Rock, a goal-oriented sociopath who has employed thousands of people who started with $7 in his pocket.
Right.
Tom Cruise is an empty vessel who has been corrupted by a literally a religious entity that has made him
superhuman,
algorithmically do everything that we adore.
Right.
Even up to, and I made this note because I thought of it as I was listening.
Nice.
As I was listening
flip
to what
out
you said,
video,
the flip out video is only another token in the because of what you just said. The man only cares about his craft, and by the way, does his own stunts because he's immortal.
He does his own stunts, and now the article went into that. They were showing a trailer to the exhibitionists that were, I don't know, at some convention, and in the trailer, which is only going to be shown to people who own theaters, Tom Cruise is attached to the top of a biplane and says, "Enjoy this trailer," and then dives into a fucking crater. Now, no one's going to see that. But he is so genuinely, and that's the thing you hate about The Rock. The Rock is disingenuous. Tom Cruise lives and breathes this stuff. He finds it to be important work.
Yeah.
And when a reporter asked him, "Why do you do these stunts? You have kids." He said they will be absorbed soon, but also no one asked Gene Kelly why he danced.
But he wasn't strapped onto the side of a plane.
Now listen, Pat.
Can I put in a little anecdote that will,
I'm just saying, Tom, his response was stupid.
Oh yeah, because he's a robot and there are glitches.
But was it, Patrick?
Did you hear the Miles?
Absolutely.
Did you hear the Miles Teller sick on set story, Dylan?
No.
Did you hear this little?
No.
Miles Teller, after one of their many flying sessions, was feeling quite ill, broke out in hives.
Right.
Went to the doctor. They said he had, after being prescribed that he had jet fuel in his bloodstream, and took an oatmeal bath. He's better, and it solves it. And they figured out he had jet fuel in his bloodstream. So he goes on set, and this is a real story that was in some reputable pub, many actually.
Yeah.
This is oft repeated story.
New York Post.
He shows up on set, and Tom goes, "How you feeling?" And Miles goes, "I'm feeling great for having jet fuel in my bloodstream. I got it from our training session the other day."
Right.
And Tom Cruise, in what I now believe to be a breadcrumb in my philosophy theory on him, says, "I was born with it in my blood."
Oh. Seems like that's a publicist's made-up story.
By Scientology, who is the people controlling the avatar that is Tom Cruise.
Not recognize that Tom Cruise is a demigod? He just is, man. The
This perfectly illustrates the Rorschach test that is life and how we
Right.
perceive it. Because you see The Rock and you see some psycho. I see a hero. You see Tom Cruise as a hero.
Yeah.
I see him as a robot.
right.
And I see like Adrian Yanez as the best boxer in the UFC. And you guys are like, who?
Yes, a robot, but also someone who is truly passionate about making movies. I mean, he just loves it. The Rock has whey protein and tequila, and he's fucking rapping with whoever the fuck
that
it
guy.
is. He's in Black Adam. That sucks. It's all CGI. He's doing nothing. There's a moment in the film which serves as kind of meta commentary on the kind of movie maker that Tom Cruise is. Ed Harris, who dreams of shutting down the planes he's testing, Tom Cruise is testing as part of a broader plan to replace human pilots with drones in the
wow.
film. Kane tells Maverick, the end is inevitable. Your kind are headed for extinction. This line, of course, lays the groundwork for a story in which Maverick will demonstrate that there's actually no substitute for pilots like him. I mean, just unbelievable stuff. And one more.
That's a plot storyline in that movie.
No, it makes sense. I get it.
That's the plot. They want to erase the humans and make drones.
They're assuaging my fear of technology
Yeah.
being our end.
Before Maverick takes the plane up, someone asks him whether he knows what'll happen to him if he does this, and he says, "I don't know what happens to everyone else if I don't." Oh no, he says, hang on.
Wow.
He says, "I know what happens to everyone else if I don't." And the movie falls away, and there is only Tom Cruise performing feats of absurd and possibly unnecessary daring, reminding the audience how much it still needs him. Are you guys not fucking shooketh right now?
Here's what I have to say about Tom. in his movies.
Unbelievable.
I appreciate the game and the passion, and he's going to be 60 next year, and this has been his entire life. He's been famous since he was 20. He was in Outsiders and Risky Business, and then
Yeah.
Basically, every movie at that particular point in time that could just perfectly hit the touch point of the
Right.
cultural zeitgeist,
Right,
just
right.
on a whim, 45 times in a row.
This is his purpose in life, aside from Scientology, and those
Yeah.
people are really nice. I've worked
Slaughtering
Pat isn't getting
lambs
it.
to Xena.
He does. He has a purpose to serve the Scientologists.
Right.
No, I
His
get-
purpose is not science.
You
I
don't,
get it.
You don't get it.
I get it. But I do think, I'll just say personally, I've never seen one of his movies in like the last 20 years.
Patrick.
Yes, you have.
I saw the first 2 Mission Impossibles. What else has he been in besides the Jack Reacher bullshit? Never seen it.
I fucking hate just like sequels printed for money. The Mission Possible, I guess I haven't seen past 4, but up to 4 just keep getting cooler.
They
It's
keep getting
insane.
cooler.
Well, you
I
didn't
swear
go
to
see
God.
'em.
And let me
No, past 4.
Let me
I
just
didn't.
stop here because I've been talking about Tom Cruise for too long, and it's been very
He's a fascinating guy, honestly.
very fascinating, but it wasn't very
robot.
coherent. I will say this: you say you haven't seen a movie of his in a while.
Good lie.
One of the anecdotes about Tom Cruise that proves his love for movie making is this little anecdote about his role in Tropic Thunder.
I was
One
gonna say
of-
Tropic Thunder.
One of the best performances.
15.
God damn it. I mean, is Joe Byron back in town? This fucking helicopter is so low.
That was
So
2007, so that was 15 years ago. I saw
Ben
that.
Stiller gives him the script and says, "Hey, can I get some notes?" Now, notes are notoriously from people who are trying to please General Electric
And
China and the people who make the show. So notes can be pretty shitty sometimes.
And when Tom Cruise is in the movie Scientology, David Miscavige.
Right, exactly. So Tom Cruise and/or David
And
Miscavige
Xenu.
gave Ben Stiller one of the best notes I've ever heard. The version of the script was just them in the jungle. There was no cutaway to the engine that was driving them to make that movie, that being the
agent.
studio and the agent. And Tom Cruise was like, you need to make sure that the studio is pressuring them to get this done. Because otherwise you just have people aimlessly in the jungle. And Ben was like, that's an amazing idea. And it birthed not only Tom Cruise, but Matthew McConaughey's role in that, trying to get him a TiVo.
G4?
No, a TiVo.
Oh, I thought it was,
Whispers quiet.
what's that?
The TiVo was the big thing that he was checking on in the thing. Yeah. But
It wasn't a G4?
yeah, like in early on they do the G4. I love that movie.
Also, Bill Hader is Tom Cruise's assistant. I mean, just that one note from David Miscavige. Tom Cruise is the man. The Rock fucking sucks compared to him. That is the point after 25 minutes, I think. Must have been that long. We have to get to more movie talk.
I threw a kind of a pun, quite the wrench into your whole philosophy, I will say. So
I
extended it.
Completely believe. Yes, 100%.
And also Bill Hader has never lost the ability to work for free, and that's why he's been able to put himself in new arenas. He volunteered to go on the South Park retreat, and they were like, "You're Bill Hader, of course. Come on." And then he was a South Park writer for years. Do you guys know that?
Can you get to what you were going to talk about, please?
Yeah. And it so perfectly ties into the what did you say about movies and movie studios? It was like basically the ethos of the New Yorker article, how real people or something.
The ethos was that Tom Cruise's confusing identity maybe need not be explored because what he's doing is trying to save a part of Hollywood that is no longer needed, quote unquote.
Gotcha. Because of, and in the beginning it said in a world of like fucking
sci-fi or AI and VFX.
Yeah. And I have lamented on our programs, and I'm actually we've kicked around the idea of doing another movie podcast, which has been punted because of my insistence that we rotate the movies that we talk about.
Sure.
And you guys are like, I don't want to talk about Space Jam for 50 minutes. I think we could kill it.
Right.
But what we just did and what we're doing now, because you're talking about a movie and I'm talking about a movie,
is further proof that we shouldn't do another movie podcast.
No, we should all bring in one movie and do it in 50 minutes and kind of have a discussion about it rather than a recap narrative.
We'll
just
see.
a thought.
We'll see.
But
I just want to talk about I'm just going to bring it every time.
I think that would be a great bit. Let's bleep that.
Okay.
Bleeping. We're using bleeps very comedically recently. So
love that.
I've lamented on our program that I hate like all the movies that are, I want to see like a buddy cop comedy or just like I want to see a movie of people.
Like what's that?
That's not Hallmark.
What's that show with Eric Guerrero or what's the guy David Ferrer? What's the guy's name?
I'm curious. David Ferreira is one of our piece of shit
No.
commenters who gets way too
the guy with
familiar
the
with
mullet. He was a cop. Chips. Eric Estrada. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna. Sorry to interrupt, Nick. I was like kind of falling asleep, and I was like, maybe because I had a long weekend.
Stuff.
No. It's not your fault. I'm high.
I know. Oh, right.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
I
was like, wow. Having trouble concentrating. I'm high.
I think you took too much, man.
Yeah, I did.
Another thing I've railed against,
Yeah.
besides all the fucking, there's not real movies out there, stuff you can watch, is Netflix and how they're pushing some fucking agenda.
Right.
But Netflix has solved the first problem I have with current Hollywood with the new movie Hustle.
Right.
Produced by Adam Sandler.
Sandman.
What do you guys know about it? Take the mic for a little while and feel free to interrupt at any time.
Something
This
to
is
do
a journey
about
and we have
Something
18
about
minutes.
basketball.
Fair enough. Great.
But you don't have to care about basketball to like the film because Adam Sandler's great in it.
Yeah, I will say. So you also talked about Tom Cruise having to put the Hollywood industry on his shoulders. I think for a long time, actually, Adam Sandler did that, and he got panned because he had to make these high-budget comedies, and he made Jack and Jill, and everybody made fun of him.
Right.
But he weirdly knew that he was making a machine going. I don't know if anybody has ever seen that movie.
I mocked it on PMZ. And I said, how the fuck did this piece of shit get made? Fun little thing about that, Adam Sandler thought he was a genius back in the early 2000s. He told Rob Schneider secretly, he's like, buddy, it's all about you gotta just make a great trailer, you know? You put a good trailer together, they'll come there. $20 million the first week.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. And Rob Schneider then went on to make Deuce Bigelow.
Let's not disparage Adam Sandler, okay? Because Big
I gotta
Dad,
make some notes.
Big Daddy is seminal, right? Big Daddy is a very important movie. Big Daddy is a movie wherein Adam Sandler asks a bunch of 5-year-olds who he suspects of drinking. I love you. I love putting a little rum in it, don't you? What? You guys are good.
No, that was the money grab time period. That was
the
Waterboy.
beginning of it, yeah.
That was what was Little Nicky?
He was
stupid...
putting Hollywood on his shoulders,
from the deep
and he's not a robot.
Little Nicky, he said, "I'm from the deep south."
Don't do that impression. I don't like it.
And it was a psyop of Popeyes. He's like, Popeyes chicken's fucking awesome. And for years, I wanted to eat Popeyes. And then all of a sudden, they unveil the chicken sandwich in the middle of the chicken wars. And I Uber Eats Popeyes all the time. You guys are taking me on too many tangents. But it's great stuff. This is input that I'm looking for. This is not a mono.
So Hustler is a good movie.
But I got to go back to Rob Schneider and he made fun of...
Pat's going to take a shit in the corner of his room tonight.
He made fun... Oh, yeah. You made fun of Adam Sandler's theory that you have to get a good trailer.
Well, he was giving the business model for not really giving a shit about a movie, but you could fool people by just keep running the really all the good parts of a trailer, and the rest of the movie could be
Was
shit.
he being subversive with Jack and Jill? Was he like, I'm going to make this so bad that it's good?
I'm telling you, it was like what he said. You make a good trailer, people will go watch. In the beginning of that movie, that's what I was going to say. No one should ever watch it. But if you have, in the movie, he is a big-time movie producer who laments. There's literally this monologue where he talks to someone, and he's like, I run this big studio. I have all these people with jobs. You got to keep the engine going. It's so...
Meta.
It's so exactly what was going on. But his theory failed about the good trailer when the internet came around and people would pan the movies and you couldn't even get them off the ground.
Or Rotten Tomatoes.
So now he grew a beard, started playing basketball, going viral, and just making movies about shit he likes. I think he has a giant gambling problem.
Right.
And has fucked Julia Fox.
Right.
But my point is that he made, because he's so real, he made a movie with real people, and it is, and they do have a great PR machine going. If you Google this movie, it's the best basketball film of all time, which is really what kind of triggered me because I love basketball movies. And then once I started researching this, I didn't even, it's all about a scout who has been cast off to find players internationally, hidden gems for years.
Jerry Maguire.
Just a hard worker who the good-hearted owner of the basketball team, think that's actually what he loves to do.
Oh.
Finally, this is very early in the movie, no spoilers. Very early in the movie, he gets promoted to assistant coach. Same day, owner dies. He hears it on Philly radio.
Got it.
The son, who they were combating about some talent, hates him, relegates him back to scout, and he has to miss his 10th daughter's birthday in a row. And then he finds this guy who he really believes in Spain, and that's when the movie starts.
Is
I
there
didn't know
anything,
spoilers.
weird about the guy in Spain? Why do we like that guy?
Don't ask that question.
Great question.
Don't ask that question.
Great question. I was going to address it. Actually, it's one of my only pet peeves with the film.
Yeah.
That there is some hidden gem in Spain. Hidden gem basketball player who's 6'10", by the way, in Spain. They have
Pau Gasol.
They won the gold medal of the Olympics. There are no hidden gems in Spain. He should have went to Ghana, but I feel like that wouldn't have hit.
That
as
would have
hard.
been a problem.
Well, that would have been more like that John Candy movie where he found snowboarders in Jamaica.
Yeah, he was like, "Don't be shooby, brother."
Yeah. I'm increasing. I actually think I may want to find people in Ghana or Sudan is a big one there, tall and lean motherfucker.
Can we?
I
just don't like us going to Africa, and it's not even that we are going to do anything.
You're going to hate this point.
I went to Jamaica, dude.
I think I'm increasingly thinking a good idea with all this technology taking over here and not being able to leave your homes. Get in some resort area in a third world country and mine all the resources. Take advantage that they don't know how to use internet there.
Oh, okay.
And bleed them dry.
Oh,
their
okay,
money.
yeah.
And then bring it back to Wisconsin.
Nick, your fucking hands will be cut off.
Oh no.
Yeah, they have different laws over there. Here you
I'm telling
scam
you,
some people out of money, It's a little slap on the wrist. There, you don't have wrists. You know what I mean?
It's not scamming. You're just running businesses because you know how to use the internet, and it's like Mexico. It's resort towns that are protected by the people
Now,
who run it
believe
because
it or
they
not,
know you're gonna.
Nick is going to unveil his top 5 basketball
crazy.
movies.
It's
Oh,
crazy.
is that where we're going with this?
I'm doing it. So Hustle, great. Really enjoyed it. Gonna have to. It's precluded or excluded from my list.
Yeah. Well, we haven't had enough time to
hold on.
digest.
I want to ask
it.
this just because I didn't know where this was going. I thought we were just talking about movies. Did you put this at the top of the segment that you were going to talk about your top 5?
Hey, Pat,
Yeah.
take it easy, man. You're pretty high right now.
No, I was just asking.
Pat,
All right, let me relax.
put the brakes, man.
Okay.
I don't think I said it explicitly.
All right.
No, but I understand your confusion because
I didn't say it.
we've gone pretty much everywhere except Nick's favorite basketball movie.
My review of Hustle was a big part of it, so that kind
Got
of
it.
part was
I get
planned.
that.
How many thermometers do you give it?
88. I liked it.
Fresh.
All right. So number 2 of my favorite basketball movies.
Yeah.
Above the Rim, 1994.
Wow.
Tupac in that.
Yes,
I saw it in the movie theater.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you recall?
I thought it was really good, but I think Tupac was also in Blue Chips with Shaquille O'Neal. So, and they came out at the same time, so it was confusing to me.
Great point that you just mentioned, because as I researched this, I didn't. There's so many basketball movies I haven't seen. I know of Blue Chips, haven't seen it. It's a classic. Penny Hardaway, Shaq. I've seen like parts of it. Nick Nolte.
Wesley
the coach.
Snipes.
Nope,
No.
close. He does make the list, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But no. Number 2 is above.
Is Shazam a basketball movie?
No. Shazam is an
Superhero.
app that you use to
Find songs.
find songs, but
what's-
it's also a what do you call that? The Mandela effect. People believe Shazam to be a movie that Sinbad was in, that he played a genie, but it's not real. Kazam
Right.
is a genie movie starring Shaquille
Shaq.
O'Neal.
Okay, Kazam.
So I love basketball movies and movies starring basketball stars.
Right.
You know what I always lamented not having a Sega Genesis, because I would go to Videoland. I had a Super Nintendo, and Shaq Fu was this fighting video game. There where Shaq, he was such a big star at the time. He was the first one to license his name to video games, but I couldn't play because I didn't have a Sega. So number 2 is Above the
Sega.
Rim. The Game Gear. My aunt had a Game Gear. I loved fucking holidays in Brownsville,
What's number
Minnesota.
5?
No. Number 2,
You obviously hinted at White Man Can't Jump.
I have to just let people know a little bit what it's about besides Tupac being in it. Above the Rim, 1994, Tupac plays Birdie, a gangster who is essentially a drug dealer team owner, because the world of pickup basketball is very competitive and
Yeah.
there's a lot of money on the line. There's
fuck
tournaments
yeah, right.
and shit. So he plays Birdie, the brother of Shep, who now is a janitor at this high school, because Shep was dunking against someone. They were trying to grab quarters off a backboard, and the other guy fell off. He grabbed the quarter, broke through the backboard, and fell off a roof and died. So Shep quit playing basketball and is now the janitor at the high school,
Right.
where Kyle Watson,
Right.
played by Dwayne Martin, is also he's the new basketball star. He's gonna go to this is in Philly.
Yeah.
He's gonna go to Villanova, where
Right.
Allen Iverson played. It's John Thompson. We're talking, and that's interesting that they turned into a guard school in like the 2000s, because
Right.
they used to be known for centers. Alonzo Mourning, Dikembe Mutombo.
Right.
Talk about going to Sudan.
Right.
It's always been a thing, but
Right.
just people are afraid of getting their hands cut off.
Not that I don't want to rush you.
Don't worry.
Are we going to go through the plots of all of the movies?
The other ones will be quicker.
Okay.
It's crazy that guy. Sorry. So
I
there was
know.
a quarters on the top, and then he tried
He's
to
on an
grab
11-story building. Who puts a basketball court on
So
an
he-
11-story building?
And I would say an irresponsible place to put the basketball court. I have recently been playing tennis
Very.
atop the West Hollywood Library,
Yeah.
but they have fences.
Okay.
That was
What's number 3?
that was my only regret of tonight. The West Hollywood. No. So then Kyle, he's the star of the team. His single mom ends up dating Shep, and he's like, "Why are you dating a janitor?" But then Birdie, who is also his like capo is Wood Harris, who plays the
Lovewood
pro tag.
Right.
It was such a trip. I will say that took me out of Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
The good guy, who was such a bad guy.
Right.
Before he beat the Bernie Mac was also one of Shep's teammates in high school.
Hey,
and
you can't anymore.
Wood Harris beat the shit out of Bernie Mac, a homeless man.
Wood Harris played
because
Avon,
they stepped to him.
Avon Barksdale, right?
Yeah, Avon Barksdale. And
what's number 5?
That was actually the synopsis. I really wanted to get the Bernie Mac thing out. Number 1 is White Man Can't Jump, of course. 1992 is White Man Can't Jump. Incredible movie. Woody Harrelson plays a hustler on the street.
Who am I? You better go out there and make that money.
Wesley Snipes. That's exactly like they were teammates, like you said.
Thank you.
Rosie Perez was in the movie. In the
First off, we don't fuck. We screw.
Great Rosie Perez,
Wow.
Pat. That is unmistakable.
Yeah.
Dude.
Do you hear that?
That was really good.
It was, yeah.
You see
She's
her
here.
You see her boobs in the unedited version.
Yeah.
Cool.
You also saw her naked in the intro to Do the Right Thing, too.
Interesting note that a lot of people don't know about White Man Can't Jump. He's a disgraced college basketball star. If you catch the movie on TNT most of the time, a lot of people miss the beginning of this movie and Rosie Perez's tits because they watched it on cable.
Hey, Nick, Love and Basketball make the list?
Ooh, just didn't make the cut. I'm glad you brought it up because I wasn't going to, out of trying to pare this down.
Right.
But yeah, I Score You Strip. Seminal moment in basketball movie history. White Man Can't Jump. I guess most of us know it. I will say one interesting note besides the other interesting notes I have thus far given about White Man Can't Jump.
Yeah.
Dwayne Martin, the star of 1994's Above the Rim, plays Willie of Flight and Willie in White Man Can't Jump, who in the final scene when they dunk on him, like they're all pissed. They're like, "Why you guard him? He's white. Why'd he dunk on you?" That was also Dwayne Martin who played the protagonist, Kyle Watson, in 1994.
He's the guy that flew through the roof trying to dunk, fell 11 stories, died.
No, you got to listen back. I think I killed it. So White Man Can't Jump, number 1, Above the Rim, number 2. Number 5, He Got Game, Denzel Washington, classic.
Oh, wow, yeah, classic.
He accidentally killed his wife in front of his son, went to prison. Governor gave him temporary release so he could convince his son, played by Ray Allen, named Jesus Shuttlesworth, to go to Big State because they couldn't get the license to any colleges. He really wanted Jesus Shuttlesworth, played by Ray Allen, to go to Big State.
Yeah.
So he granted Denzel Washington, who accidentally killed his wife, temporary release to convince him. So initially, Ray Allen doesn't want anything to do with him. Somehow, he eventually does want something to do with him. It culminates in a one-on-one game where they bet if Denzel Washington, who is 50 at the time, generously, is playing Ray Allen, who's 6'7", played for the Bucks at the time.
I never knew it was based on a true story.
Not based on a true story. This is the plot of the movie. But Ray Allen played Jesus Shuttlesworth, who was in... He played for the Bucks in 1998 when the movie came out.
You thought there was a young kid that wanted to go to Big State, and a convict was the one who helped him along in that journey?
It was temporary release.
Remember,
it's a Spike Lee joint, if my memory serves.
Yeah.
Remember when Kate Chastain joined us on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills recap? Yeah, Spike Lee joined. Remember when she joined us and she talked about
Inside Man, starring Clive Owen, a Spike Lee joint.
Was it?
Yeah.
That movie's great. I like how he stopped doing commentary on stuff. I guess that was about blood money.
Are you kidding me? You just did Defy Brothers.
Okay, never mind.
What's your 4th favorite movie?
I gotta finish the thought that I just had. Kate Chastain talked about the guy with big balls. Or talked about someone with big balls. I mentioned Sam Cassell. Sam Cassell has big balls.
Right.
He was one of the big 3 in 1998 on the Bucks that went to the Eastern Conference Finals that played Allen Iverson. And then Allen Iverson played the Lakers, and Allen Iverson stepped over Tyronn Lue. You've seen that same year, 1998. So Sam Cassell. The reason I'm bringing that up, if you haven't tracked, Ray Allen playing Jesus Shuttlesworth, the guy.
How could we have tracked?
Whose father is Denzel Washington. So, anyways, this culminates in a one-on-one game where they bet again. If fucking Denzel wins, he goes to Big State. They actually play. The direction notes are that
play hard.
Jesus Shuttlesworth is supposed to win 11-0, and they just film them playing basketball. Denzel Washington ain't gonna have it.
Right.
He had been telling Ray Allen all filming that and this is the last scene that they film. He had been telling Ray Allen he doesn't have a left. All movie, he's working on his left hand. First couple times they play, he goes left. The score is 6-4 at one point.
Wow.
And then Denzel Washington gets really tired and Jesus Shuttlesworth takes over, which is a way better script than what Spike wrote.
Right.
And that's number 5.
Yeah.
And of course, number 3.
That is a
I know
cool
how you
story.
feel when I do PMZ.
That is a really cool story.
I said I invited interruptions because otherwise this would
Oh,
be...
no. I'm just
talking about
saying me
basketball.
just sitting back and I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, hell yeah. I listen.
I'm listening.
And I will say I'm going to wrap this up with dishonorable mentions, but super quick. Number 3 is Space Jam.
Whoa.
Number 3 is Space Jam.
Whoa.
Bill Murray's best role.
Right.
And
Bugs Bunny's too.
And number 4 is The Sixth Man, starring Marlon Wayans.
Yeah.
Him and his brother are star basketball players. His brother's the real star. He dies in their high school state championship game on the game-winning dunk, has a heart attack while he's hanging on the rim.
Yeah.
Continues to follow his brother. Who
You
goes,
heard about SADS?
Hold on. I never heard of this movie. That sounds like the dumbest plot thing ever.
What about He Got Game?
That had a great soundtrack by Public Enemy.
So did Space Jam. I do want to say I bought that on tape, and I would wake up to that every morning, and it sucks that R. Kelly is such a vicious, vicious rapist.
Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots? Girl, would you like to come back with Rob to America? America.
Great soundtrack and Space Jam.
Do you have your passport?
Seal doing his rendition of Steve Miller Band's I Believe I Can Fly,
Yeah.
which is probably the best scene in Space Jam, let's be honest.
Right.
When he finally gets his shoes, fly like an eagle,
Right.
and they spit shine the court for him, and he's dunking.
Yeah.
That's number 3. I was on number 4, which is Sixth Man.
Yeah.
Brother dies, starts to follow him as an angel as he goes to University of Washington.
Yeah.
They go to the NCAA tournament. His brother starts like making it about him, weirdly, who's dead. It's an interesting take on an angel. Usually they're
Right.
altruistic. No, he's like weirdly like he's trying to separate him.
He's very selfish.
But he's also protective. And then the team starts getting weird about him helping him because they have since been alerted.
Right.
He convinced them by being like, hey, do some magic for him.
Right.
And they were like, oh, okay.
So it's like Casper?
I would say it's. I think they stole. I would have to look at the years. Angels in the outfield.
Got it.
Hey, sorry, can I interrupt?
Absolutely.
How long have we been going?
We're almost done.
Oh, wait, no, how long have we been going? What's the
43
question?
minutes.
Oh, it is. Oh, wow. Is it really only 43 minutes?
Is it?
No. God, no. How could it? What?
How long have we been going?
53 minutes. Oh man, I thought you were like, man.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm loving what you're throwing down. It's
I'm
just,
done. I'm done. I'm
oh,
done.
Okay.
So that's the Sixth Man. They didn't want him hanging around. Marlon Wayans ends up winning an NCAA tournament by himself. Dishonorable mentions very quickly.
Do you have your passport?
Space Jam 2
Did you get your shot?
Space Jam 2
sucked. The fact that Don Cheadle worked on it.
Oh, so this is the raspberries you're throwing at.
Yeah,
These
yeah,
are
yeah.
horrible.
Dishonorable
Okay,
mentions
okay.
very
Right,
quick.
right,
We're
right.
done. That was my list, obviously.
Right.
Number 2, Above the Rim. Number 1, White Man Can't Jump. Number 5, He Got Game. Number 3, Space Jam, obviously. And number 4,
Sixth Man.
Sixth Man.
Right.
I'm so glad you. I was even going to mention Love and Basketball. I'm so glad you did.
Oh, you only had one dishonorable mention?
No.
Oh, you have more?
Do you have one?
Because
I have 2 more.
Oh, good. Let's hear them.
Space Jam 2. Oh no. Oh yeah. Space Jam 2 already said sucked.
Space Jam 2 sucked.
Can't believe Don Cheadle wanted to be a part of that. Air Bud. Actually, in fact, there is a rule that says the dog can't
I know
play
you're going to say
basketball.
like Mike.
Nope, Love Like Mike.
Yeah,
just
Like
barely
Mike's
didn't
a
make the
great
cut.
movie.
Love Lil Bow Wow, love all his music.
Yeah.
You Ain't Fresh as Diamonds.
High School Musical.
No. The number 3 dishonorable mention is Eddie, the 1996 classic where
Whoopi Goldberg. She's the coach.
She's a female limo driver who gets selected to coach the New York Knicks.
Oh yeah.
Not to be confused with 1996 Ed, where a chimp plays Matt LeBlanc, Joey from Friends' teammate.
Yeah.
He's the third baseman chimp. Or 1998
That's baseball, though.
Ed TV starring Matthew McConaughey.
And Jenna, whatever.
My top 3 favorite basketball movies
Thank
are
you.
Basketball,
Don't count it.
Basketball,
Love it.
the HBO documentary about the USA Women's national team. With,
I didn't include documentaries.
with Mia Hamm
Hoop
and
Dreams, you
Foudy.
obviously.
And then that short documentary that Kobe won for.
That was less than 6 minutes. I got to see him perform that live.
Great. Good movie. So, guys, let us know what your favorite basketball movies are. Is it
Just say movie.
movie? Is it this movie? We love you guys for listening. Subscribe, smash it, tell your friends, tell your family. We'll see you next week. Oh, patreon.com. We'll see you next week. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Bon voyage.
Pat, say goodbye.
Bye, guys.